I stood up, approaching him on my bare feet. He towered over me. That really turned me on. My own dad was a giant question mark. And Mr. Woodward radiated protective vibes. He could totally shield me from the world. You want to hop in the jacuzzi first? Tension rose in him. His masculine energy coiled around him, and he restrained it. I don't know if that's wise. He wanted to be good. He licked his lips and let his eyes flit from the bathroom back to me. Before I could coax him some more, his gaze dipped over my body, and he gave in. Well, why not? I paid for the thing. Might as well get at least one use out of it, huh? He grinned as he stripped off his shirt. You haven't even used it yet? Wow, wealth really is wasted on the wealthy. I would have been in there the moment we checked in. As I stared at him, I bit my fingertip. This private show was much more exciting. Asking him to join me in the jacuzzi was trouble. In fact, that was precisely what I was after. If you were my sugar baby, you would have done just that. He responded, unable to help himself. That tinge of guilt as he realized he was flirting with me was quite delicious. I had to distract him before it set in too deep. Will you go get the jacuzzi ready while I change? Yeah, of course. That tight, round backside of his was on display through his snug shorts as he retreated into the bathroom. I waited until I heard the water going before darting to my suitcase. I tossed it on the bed and hurriedly opened it up. It was the perfect time to wear something I hadn't worn before. The skimpy swimsuit had been a gag gift from Alice. I'd packed it as a joke. She told me it was perfect for me because it was virgin white, but slutty just like me. Which was rude, but not wrong. Even though it was a one-piece, it was a sling design. It was actually more revealing than the bikini I had on earlier. What better time to try it on? I quickly stripped out of my sundress and threw it on top of the bed. It took me a couple of times to get the swimsuit on properly. When I finally realized it was supposed to sink between my ass cheeks, it made more sense. The dressing mirror in the corner stopped me short. Okay, it was a lot sluttier than I'd even expected. It barely covered my nipples. My toned stomach was completely bare, except for the two straps leading from my thighs to my neck, and the white fabric was nearly see-through. It was a bad idea. I couldn't come on to him this strongly. What if he rejected me? I had to stay with him until Alice recovered. No, I couldn't do this. I went back to my luggage to find my pink swimsuit. It wasn't there. I tossed all my clothes out of the suitcase, double-checking. Mr. Woodward, do you know where my bikini is? I called out loud enough. He could hear me over the running water and the closed door. Yeah, I sent all your worn stuff to be dry cleaned. I figured better safe than sorry, what with Alice being sick and all. No knowing what might have clung to our clothes. He replied in a booming voice over the sound of the tub filling. If you're short on swimsuits, though, I can take you out later, do some shopping. What else is a sugar daddy for, huh? Crap, I only brought 2 swimsuits. There's actually one I had my eye on down in the shops on the promenade. It wasn't a total lie either, and the idea of him buying me something new was exciting. I went back to the mirror and adjusted the fabric, trying to make it a little more decent. It took some time for it to stay put, but it was better, at least. Okay, I'm ready, I said, just after the water jets turned on. I hadn't noticed the miniature bar in the opulent bathroom earlier. Mr. Woodward stood in front of it, pouring up a couple of flutes of champagne. He was down to nothing but his own tight shorts as he greeted me with a smile. He nearly dropped the glass of bubbly as his eyes landed on me, and his mighty body froze in place, speechless. It was a daunting moment. I wasn't sure what to say as I stood there, awkwardly tucking one arm behind my back, the other hand sliding up my thigh to my hip.